Welcome to another episode of Mario Kart Tour, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I'll be going over the biggest update in this game's history. New gameplay modes, new gameplay features, including, but not limited to, battles and the Spotlight Shop. This is going to be a hot one, folks. And in addition to that, we have a new tour preview trailer to take a look at. And we'll end it off by firing a few pipes. If that sounds good with all of you, please show your support with the channel by leaving a like on this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for that support. This is currently available in the App Store. Happy birthday, Mario Kart Tour. There's no party like a Mario Kart Tour party. Is that not true? To celebrate its anniversary, this racing gem officially invites everyone to tackle its most touristy tracks. What we love, rolling through iconic cityscapes like Sydney Sprint, Amsterdam Drift, and Singapore Speedway in the aptly named Anniversary Tour. Plus, Mario takes the spotlight with a kingly new outfit. Now, I have exception with the language used in this because, as we know, Mario King is not in the spotlight, so that is false advertising. Strongly disagree with the way that that's phrased. So if we click over here, we pull up the Mario Kart Tour page in the App Store. Pulling up the trailer, it starts with this image of a battle scene. We have Mario, Yoshi, and Bowser. There's a few things that we can pick out from the details here, and one is that the balloons that Yoshi and Mario are carrying are different shape. We can see that it's stars for Yoshi. And through the data mining, it's suggested that balloons will be a new form of inventory, so it will be drivers, carts, gliders, and balloons now. It's unclear if balloons will factor into the existing modes in Mario Kart Tour, but they will be in play for battles. And those items will have rarity scale, such as that of our drivers, carts, and gliders already, so there will be normals, supers, and high-ends available for them. The rest still remains to be seen, and we'll unpack that when the new tour is available on October 5th. What's also really cool about this image is that it shows Bowser without any balloons throwing bananas here from the sideline. And that would lead to suggest that players that are eliminated still can be effectors in a match. I don't know personally how I feel about that. It's going to be very chaotic if that is the case, but that seems to be the route that they're going with. Now if we hit play, we can see GCN Cookie Land. We fire on the Dr. Luigi, and when we pop a balloon, that's 200 base points on that. And score will be rolling in this. Combo will factor in, and it's suggestive that the points that are being added here are for a bottom shelf combo time extension, as indicative of the +1 point for the second combo action in that chain. The coins that we pick up after hitting one of your rivals will also add to your score, and the base points on that is identical to that of single player mode, which is a base point total of 5 for each coin, factoring in the additional combo points that you're adding in. Since this is the 5th action in that chain, it's getting +1 for each subsequent action after the original one. That's how we get coin totaling up to 9 in this image. Then we move to the scene with Luigi on the platform. This character no longer has any balloons, and he's firing the green shell into the playing area, which is in this case GBA Battle Course 1, hits the Mario, and the Mario loses a balloon. You're still going to be able to add to your score as you travel along this platform, which goes along the perimeter of the course, and you can spin single item with which to fire off onto the field. The other thing that we can see on the GBA Battle Course 1 is that Red Toad Pit Crew will be joining the game as a new ranked super driver. The special skill on that could be a number of possibilities, but Lucky 7 seems likely, as the Lucky 7 special skill should prove to be very formidable in this new battles feature. Pulling up the app, let's take a look at this update information now. Okay, so thank you for playing the Mario Kart Tour game. Version 3.0.0 has been released. The contents of this update are listed below. After completing a single player race, players are now able to choose whether they wish to proceed to the next race on the results screen. This is an enormous quality of life difference. If you hit try again, you keep the same lobby, the same bots, except the position, the starting position of all of those characters in addition to your own will vary, but everything else stays constant. So if you have a lobby that you really like, you can maintain that across several different runs, and it also saves a lot of time without having to go through all the menus. Once again, if you click on next, it will send you to the next course or challenge within that particular cup. And then the X button will take you back to the main screen. So your best scores can now be recorded. So if you do a long hold on any of the tracks, you can see your tour best and your lifetime best scores. What's currently inconvenient about this feature is that the lifetime best score covers up the point where your previous best within a tour used to be shown. So now it's a situation where it's just showing your best score. You don't know if you've made a new tour best score, how much the improvement is based on your previous best of this given tour. I think that they're going to patch this. Certainly, if you want to send a feedback on that, it would be in your best interest to do so. That way, we don't all have to mentally or logistically keep track of our scores to know exactly how much more we have to go until we hit our targets. So battles have been added. We can see that the balloons are attached to their carts, and your goal is to pop the opponent's balloons. Very standard stuff. It will take some skillful item use to pop their balloons while protecting your own. So this is going to be made available in the next tour. And also a reminder that, and this is currently available in the current tour, that gold races have been merged with standard races now. So now it's just multiplayer races and multiplayer battles, and they've already modified the UI on our player profiles. I'll show you that momentarily. But looking at the shop renovations here, they don't provide any new details on this. Something the data miners have shed light on is there will be something called daily spotlights, which sounds similar to the daily selects, and it's currently being speculated that could we be able to use item tickets to filter through the rotation of these daily spotlights within the spotlight shop to improve your chance of seeing something that is desirable to you. That could be the case. I would imagine that these daily spotlights will take on the form of the regular high ends that are in the selection for that of the current all clear pipe, right? And will be interesting to see how they handle the pool of those items moving forward, since they have gradually been trickling in new items. The pool is absolutely enormous. Now there's over 70 items that are available. Your chance of seeing any particular one, perhaps the wonderful wings is one that you would like to see. Well, you know, it's 1 in greater than 70 chance to see that now, but given that there will be a rotation of these in the shop, you can obtain that with rubies. Particularly if it is the case where we can use quick tickets. The real bombshell here is that player level, tier, grade, and base points cap have been increased. No one was expecting this, since just in the Me Tour, they expanded the level for the first time in over a year from 150 to 300. Now they're expanding it all the way up to 400, which might suggest, likely suggest that player XP will be drainable on all of these battle courses. And then how will those be presented in the tour, right? Will there be a cup specifically for battle courses, or will battle courses be intermingled with that of other courses and cups? And how could that potentially play into ranked mode and ranked rewards, right? These are all very thrilling things that we could be seeing changed up within the regular flow of play for Mario Kart Tour, which is really good to see. And they're also future-proofing the game quite a bit, since some of the top-level players are currently in the 280s, you know, right up there with 290. So this will keep reason and enthusiasm to keep playing, to grind for the player level. And the tier cap is increased from 80 to 99. So remember when I did the first me hour and I said that tier 80 won't bear the same significance now, which was then, than it will in the future. And look at this, folks. We're only 6 months later and they're already like, boop, 99. Here we go. So this has implications for a few things in that the gold me will now be pretty readily attainable. In fact, the first free-to-play player, a player from Japan, has obtained tier 80 status. So already tier 80 isn't exactly something that's paywalled anymore. And will they dangle a new carrot forward for the players with the tier expansion? I've been hearing some of the chatter about a platinum me racing suit, right? And could that be the reward for tier 99? But I would suggest that they're doing tier 99 on purpose for a specific reason. And this is speculative, mind you, but we saw when the gold me suit debuted, it was the most valuable item when no one had access to it, before anyone had reached tier 80, since everyone was starting off at tier 70 and it required 10 weeks in order to obtain it. The buffs that they were applying to the gold me racing suit were occurring during those first 10 weeks before anyone had it on their accounts. By the time the first players got access to the gold me racing suit, the only kind of paywalled ranked buffing favor that it got in the form of retro courses was that Koopa Cape T, which was in that initial tour. And then from that point forward, the only kind of value that they've been able to provide it in the form of new courses that are in ranked mode was through nitro courses, right? Such as like Bangkok Rush was one of those examples. Concurrently, the question block me racing suit became available to players at that time, and that presented a lot more value to their accounts because it was still actively picking up buffs at a greater rate than the gold me racing suit, since it was just starting off. It was its debut tour. And that altered the perception of how powerful the gold me racing suit is relative to these other items that become available. So I think that the tier 99 is to halt players ahead of tier 100. And tier 100 will be a very monumental moment in the game, right? Just think about what that number represents. And the idea of having players only being able to go up to tier 99 means that if they were to introduce a tier 100, then the players would be able to obtain whatever kind of reward that is available there, whether that's a platinum me racing suit or something else, then they could obtain it in the very first week, and with that acquire all of the rich value that it will gain in the subsequent weeks as the buffs are applied. Alternatively, it could have nothing to do with the shortcoming of the gold me racing suit's launch, and it could just be reminiscent of the fact that Mario Kart Tour's initial player level cap was stuck at 99, right? You could only get to 99.9% of level 99 before they expanded it up to 150, which seems more like a technical limitation rather than that of intelligent design. However, I would imagine that at this stage in development, they're well beyond the point of that. So I would imagine that it is the former reason and not that of the latter. But we will see how that plays out. The grade cap is increased from S+6 to S+9. This will factor into Kart Pro, right? Because the greater level grade that you are, you earn an extra ruby for each successive grade that you can obtain. So now that would be potentially 3 additional rubies that you can obtain there, as well as it's been discovered through data mining that there will be a battle equivalent of Kart Pro, such as a Battle Pro challenge board that will be made available there. And then the biggest news of all, perhaps, this one could rock the game to its foundation, is the quad cap. We have the base point cap for drivers, karts, and gliders has been increased, and that's going to further enhance the base points from the previous base cap. I've mentioned in the past how a quad cap could have deleterious effects on the game and its ecosystem, because what it does is it further separates the rarity of items along the gradient, whereby normals and supers become even more irrelevant to that of high ends, To demonstrate this, I'll just pull up the calculator real quick and we can plug in the initial base cap and what changed when they moved to being able to triple cap items, right? So we'll take the difference between supers and high ends for the example here. The initial base cap for supers is 675 and the initial base cap for a high end is 800. This is specifically for the driver, but it's scalable to that of karts and gliders. And we can see here that that would be 84%. And then once the triple cap was applied, the triple capped ceiling is 975 for that of a super driver and 1400 for that of a regular high-end driver, not that of a me racing suit driver. And that dipped 15% down to 69.6%. So a further cap will skew this gap even wider, but there is a silver lining to this that I have come to appreciate since the debut of the Miis, in that while the gap between supers, normals, and high-ends will be further separated, the gap between high-end drivers and high-end me racing suits will actually narrow just marginally with this choice. So there's always speculation going around out there, like, could the quad cap only be enforceable to characters and not to me racing suits? I don't think that's going to be the case, because you use the exact same resource for the me as you do for the regular high-end character. But what I think is the underlying mechanism of this system will just bring regular characters closer to that of me racing suits, but we still don't even know the exact cap on the me racing suits, right? Each one that you add to your inventory has been plus 10 base points. We still don't know yet where that's going to cap out at, but the balancing mechanism that exists there in the game rests in overall course coverage. So while these drivers do present greater scoring output, that greater scoring output is on a much more limited selection of tracks, which if you want to have more expansive coverage, which the Miis still, even with a full lifespan of over 20 of them, cannot cover 80% of the courses available in Mario Kart Tour, is still like 10 times the investment that you would make into regular high-end selections there. So we're talking about very stratified levels of gameplay in order to unlock that kind of potential that's available there, and it's really still optimal to focus on that of your characters. Moving along now, special items have been adjusted, so we can actually break our bubble now by tapping on the screen continuously. And when we do, the space that was previously inhabited by the bubble will be randomly re-rolled to an item, which, you know, could extend your combo or provide an action for accuracy with hitting a rival. And it's going to be similar for the super leaf, but in addition to that, the diameter of the super leaf has been expanded on, so you can pull in coins from a wider area. We can see that double bob-ombs and triple bob-ombs have had the forward spam space increased to be a little bit wider, which should prove to be more effective for battles. However, in single player racing, I think that's actually a little bit of a downgrade there. And then added is a pipe that we can fire without spending rubies. See, look folks, they're still going to keep the gacha mechanism, but it will be a free gacha mechanism here with the form of the multiplayer pipe, which can be fired by playing multiplayer and filling up the multiplayer pipe gauge. And that gauge is going to be filled up quicker and easier if you have Gold Pass, and that can be fired 10 times in a row, we can see here. And then they address some of these known issues that they've been reporting on there. So this is a doozy of an update. It only increases the amount of excitement that I have in breaking down the new content in this upcoming tour, which we can take a look at the preview at right now. What's it gonna be? We have the battle tour, right? Who didn't see that one coming? So what's really great here is updated login bonuses. They're gonna give us 100 rubies and 25,000 coins. What? That is so generous of them. So good. And then another exciting thing too is this autumn celebration held across 3 tours. 3 tour events are back, right? I know a lot of people didn't really love the 2 tour celebrations. So good to see a 3 tour roadmap, to have that much information and excitement looming on the horizon. So we start off here, we see that Chef Luigi is the new character, which is a little bit ho-hum because this is now the 6th Luigi in 2022, and still only a dozen characters have been represented with new forms in Mario Kart Tour this year, which is smaller than the roster for Mario Kart Double Dash. I wish they would listen, but that's got to be like the higher ups at Nintendo who decide that kind of thing, right? Anyway, let's take a look at the trailer and see what we can figure out here. So these are the 2 battle courses that we're working with. And Luigi's going to be in the Fast Frank, the original one, but we can see some battle action. RMX Donut Plains, look at this. Looks beautiful. I love this section. It's one of the nicest RMX tracks I think I've seen. So we have Choco Island 1, Sunset Wilds. And look, these items, there's no like special pipe prediction or any of that. We can see that the jack-o'-lanterns will be back. So the Halloween tour will follow what is being shown here. And yeah, that's some really cool stuff. So Chef Rosa is going to be coming back, Pastry Chef Shy Guy, and Chef Mario. That should give you an idea of what you might be looking to spend your rubies on there. And then there's a bunch of new carts and new gliders. Those are likely going to be split between the Spotlight shop and what's available in the paid packs, which will be changing with their price point. So we'll have to see what that looks like in the next tour as well. All right, let's pull up the Me Racing Suit trailer. Here we go. So no real surprise here on what the special skill is going to be. It's the green Me Racing Suit, so it's going to be triple green shells, of course. And then the suspense is always down to the final 5 seconds of this trailer. What will they show us for Wave 17? Dry Bones is here, so that's definitely going to be the Halloween tour, and that's going to be the 2nd consecutive triple green shell Me Racing Suit that we're going to have, which is going to be a skill that's very good for battles, and perhaps the value of these 2 Me Racing Suits will skew towards that of having course access in the battle courses. Through the data mining, we know that shelf is going to play a role not just in terms of item slots, but also in terms of the amount of balloons that you start your race with. So this is the new economy that I was saying that Mario Kart Tour desperately needs for their own success and longevity. So they're fulfilling those expectations and more. It's so exciting. Very happy to see Mario Kart Tour progressing forward in a way that can provide us all with loads of content for the future. All right, so we took care of all the news there. Let's go into the shop and launch those free token shop pipes. Looks like we can fire just the cheap ones, not any of the 500 token pipes. So can we manifest some luck here? The luck has been very good to us, but today's challenge pipes have been giving me a deluge of those 5 item tickets. They didn't get the memo that KG doesn't like them. So hopefully we don't see many of those here. Maybe we'll get something to make up for it here. But look, at the end of the day, these really don't make a difference, right? It's just, you know, maybe don't place so much of your satisfaction in what you get in these free pipes because they are free. It's not tied to any real world currency here. So starting off with a green one. 1,000 coins. All right, so that makes up for a day or 2 of those item tickets. Oh, let's keep the train rolling. We love those coins. I think I'm more excited by the green pipes than the gold pipes, given that you get all of the currency, the resources to power your account forward, like coins and rubies, as we've seen here. Another greenie. Ooh, forgot about those. Those are, see, that's what we don't have in the today's challenge pipes, but those are here. So evening off the distribution on us with those. So I guess is the case with those normal cap tickets. Now you can quad cap. Now the thing is, the game was already a high-end game, right? I've been saying that now for over a year. And with these changes to the base points capping, it's only going to further solidify high ends in the place of the economy here. I mean, look, we can already see the token shop. These weren't the token shop gifts that they were giving away when the token shop debuted back in, what was that, 2020 still. They were doing token shops. You know, it was always supers that we were having available there, except, you know, some of the rarest events. And I do think there's some expectancy from the players out there that high ends in the token shops might become something of a norm moving forward, and maybe not a constant norm, but I think the regularity of that will remain high, as we have seen it in recent times, if not even slightly more than we have, just to keep up with, you know, where they're taking the direction of the game. I think that's very important for, you know, keeping things fresh and fun for players, no matter what kind of players they are, right? If you're, you know, pay to win or if you're free to play, you know. And particularly if you're a brand new account, I mean, this is probably like a treasure trove of joys to experience. The optics of the way that we see the game stems so much from when we started and how long we've been playing, and it's really fascinating to hear, you know, all of your perspectives out there. Ooh, a nice super there with Monty Mole. So we've had pretty much one of everything so far. Very wide distribution here. All right. One of the initial pipe-locked normal gliders there. Ooh, that's nice. Love those skill tickets, especially how it's increased for that of the normals and the supers. And in addition to that, this also enhances the value of points cap tickets a bit. We've been pulling, you know, the greatest frequency of the gold pipes that we have obtained to this point has been those just basic point cap tickets for your drivers, carts, and gliders, and you only need so many of them to work with your inventory plan that you've set forth. But now I think with there being a quad cap, there's going to be new ROI implications. I'll have the math and the data on that broken down for you at the soonest possible moment, as soon as we know what those caps will look like. Granted, like we'll take the high-end driver, for example, it goes from 800 to 980 at its first uncapping, so that's plus 180, but then it goes plus 210 for the next two, right? Because then it goes to 1,190 and then 1,400. So if they were to continue plus 210, that would result in 1,610, which is something of an awkward number. So it's anticipated that it may increase beyond plus 210. You know, will they tack on an extra 30? So it could be plus 240. That would be, you know, 1,640 then. But again, some folks think that it might just be a flat even number like plus 300. And I think based on how many base points we'll be acquiring through a quad cap will also factor into what the ticket cost will look like, right? I mean, it's going to be 15 at a bare minimum. See, Intern 4, he hears me talking about the point cap tickets. I did this intentionally, by the way. Wanted to see a gold, specifically for a points cap ticket, so I could keep talking about this. Watch, Intern 4 is a week behind. He probably got the memo that KG wants to see an item, right? So watch, this will be like a driver, cart, or glider. Still fun, mind you, but yeah, I think, you know, 15 is the absolute bare minimum of what we can expect to see there. I think, you know, 20 isn't unrealistic, and we'll just have to see from there. It could be more than 20, but I think 15 or 20 are the best guesses at this particular point. Let's see what this is now. Oh, a brand new item. Would you look at that? The snow crystals. I called that. Didn't I say Intern 4 is a week behind? He got last tour's memo. Watch, next tour I'll get like 10 points count tickets. That is a very nice pull, though. For a free token shop pipe, that is very good. And this is how they're going to keep the game alive without the pipes. You know, since the pipes with rubies will be going away, those, you know, like in the anniversary tour, we have 3 free pipes to fire today on the week 2 pipe. You know, we're not going to have access to those. But then will they create a pathway, a funnel for new spotlights to enter the standard selection? Perhaps maybe not immediately. Some of them maybe immediately. I mean, we've seen that in the past, right? Cat Peach and the Cat Cruiser initially started off in the regular high-end selection, but that's very rare, and usually items that have had that have seen decreases in final realization of their course coverage value. So you're going to want to stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so, because we're going to be covering all of those details, and it's going to be quite valuable to know where Nintendo is taking this game in forming your best possible strategy in the way that you enjoy doing things. All right, picking up more coins before. Oh, look at that, a glider points cap up ticket. Well, that's very nice, because I do think those normals and supers are still going to take the form of that stopgap coverage. So while the gradient, you know, they're losing a lot of ground to the high ends there. There's still a place for them, but it's very small, and I think it pushes us more towards viewing those resources as expendable than was originally the case. You know, supers originally powered the free-to-play. Like, this would be absolutely mind-blowing to me in you know, summer and fall of 2020. You know, now that's still a nice pull, but that's not something that's going to make or break my account, because it's not like, oh my goodness, the Soda Jet is in ranked mode this week and the Egg 1 will be in ranked mode next week. I mean, that supers don't have that kind of viability anymore. So the context surrounding, you know, pulls of that kind, and, you know, how you gear your inventory are much different. And of course, too, when you're powering up high ends that will supplant those supers, you know, the amount that you have to invest into it is going to be less, provided, you know, you're going to be taking your high end all the way. That is. So here we go. Keeping the green train rolling here. Lots of these cap tickets. All right. We're getting down there. This is 250 tokens now. Lots of point cap tickets. Maybe in turn 4, he's on the switchboard here. Oh no, we didn't want to see any of those. Oh. Just one time we can accept that. I know some folks out there want the item tickets. I'd honestly give you them all if I could. That's not a problem, but it's not the way it works, unfortunately. So here we go. These are going to be the final 2 pipes. What do we got? 1,000 coins. That is very nice. So let's go. Let's manifest some luck right now. It's a green one. Ooh, okay. Well, looks like I won't be able to fire that last one, but that's all right, because we did pick up the snow crystals, which is probably worth like a dozen point cap tickets, although it's all of this is coverage specific, right? So the snow crystals, I'll have to go through my specific inventory to see if that does anything, but naturally pulling a new item is pretty much the biggest win you can get there. So that's a nice GG on those pulls. All right, let's fire off the week 2 freebies now, and then we will say bon voyage to the Mario Kart Tour Rubies Gotcha here. First one up, we have a greenie. Bullet Blaster. A pipe frame. Come on, let's end off with a super, right? We usually end off with a super, and it's like, for good old time's sake, right? No, double pipe frame gate. Who remembers that? Circa Jungle Tour, right? That was when I first started playing. Oh my goodness. Would love to see another tour just like the Jungle Tour, and perhaps with battles in this new economy. We'll keep the game going long enough to see that happen. Oh, that will be such a fun day here. And I do hope that Mario Kart Tour contains the content that you would like to see in the foreseeable future. Look forward to breaking down all the exciting things to come in Mario Kart Tour with battles, the Spotlight Shop. We're going to have exact details next week, so stay tuned with that, and I wish you all the best to close out this 3rd anniversary tour. Take care and have a good one, everyone. So long.